killed
So
286
what? You make it sound like our priorities are Israel's priorities.
Hezbollah and the
Hezbollah
Iranians
is defending
were
Lebanon against
for
Israel.
killing
So what?
Hundreds of U.S.
We're not
Marine
responsible
Corps,
for Israel. Israel is
hundreds
not
of
our daddy.
Marines
Israel
in
might be your
Beirut
daddy,
in
but
General Mark Kimmett defended his position using a deterrence argument that many say only applies to one side of the conflict. Meanwhile, Piers Morgan kept returning to a question others avoided. Why is transparency demanded from Israel's neighbors, but not from Israel itself? What followed was a clash of three perspectives: strategic deterrence, international law, and territorial issues, and the simplest question of all, consistency. I'm Justin, and this is Justin Speaks. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the full breakdown.
Okay, let me bring in Lieutenant Colonel.
can we have the same process for Israel?
Cenk,
I'll come to you,
Can we have
Cenk,
the
in a
same
second.
inspection process for Israel?
Cenk, you're talking about.
I mean,
genocide.
there is a country that has weapons of mass destruction, right? There's a country in the Middle East that's super dangerous, has attacked 7 of its neighbors, and already has weapons of mass destruction, and weapons that they stole from us. They stole the nuclear technology, they stole the uranium, they stole the nuclear triggers. That's Israel. So why are you not concerned about the out-of-control rogue state that already has a nuclear weapon and threatens all of their neighbors? And you're concerned with someone who doesn't have that and is now promising to never have that.
You can let me answer.
So by your standard, we should invade Israel.
Okay, three things I'd say. Look, I don't know what your relationship is with your country of birth, but you want to talk about genocide, let's talk about Armenia. And if you want to talk about not being able to...
Oh, nice distraction. Yeah, I could talk about it.
Let me finish. And then the next issue is, if you talk about not going into Lebanon, in fact, Turkey over the last few years has established, just like the Israelis have in Lebanon, a foothold in the first 30 kilometers of Syria because they're afraid of the terrorism coming from the PKK. And then the third, just like Iran feels it's threatened. It's logical for them to want a nuclear weapon. You know why it's logical? When an Egyptian general told me, we're not worried about Iran because if they get a nuclear weapon, we're friends with them. You need to worry about Iran, about Israel having a nuclear weapon. And I said, look, if I had been invaded by every one of my neighbors repeatedly, maybe I'd have a nuclear weapon to protect me as well. It's pretty good deterrence.
Well, that's what's happening to Iran right now. So by your logic, Iran should have a nuclear weapon to deter Israel from invading it. I mean, you just said it. You said if you get invaded by your neighbors, like Iran is getting invaded by Israel right now, you would logically want to have a weapon of mass destruction. Now, I want to answer the questions you said.
Piers, I didn't know I was coming on the Cenk show.